Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, so Kimberly was in the house, Craig was in the house, they had 2 daughters in the house. Nobody said anything. He was their dirty little secret.
Tonight, we have continuing coverage of the man who police say was held captive for more than 20 years. That man's biological family is speaking out tonight. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. His sister says she's been searching for him for years, but could never find any information on him.
Well, Fox 61's Jamel Johnson spoke with the man's biological mom and half-sister, who called the whole situation a nightmare.
Imagine laying eyes on your brother when you were just a child, only for that to be the last time you'd ever see him again, or holding your son just for you to be cut off from his life. That's what Heather Tessman and her mother say has been their reality their entire life. Just once is how many times Tessman saw her brother. She was just a child herself during that first and last time.
I saw him when he was a baby. I was in foster care, and our mom brought him to see me. And that was the only time I've ever seen him.
I spoke with the man's biological mother, who didn't want to be identified. She says due to personal reasons, she gave his father custody when he was just a kid.
He just completely shut me out. He shut everybody out. Some of his family, though, still got to see him. As for him growing up, I missed that all.
She never got to be a mother.
Since like November.
And Tessman never got to be a sister.
I've always just wanted him to be a part of my life, you know. Figured someday I'd find him and like, hey, let's grab a beer, let's, catch up, how's it going?
As Tessman got older, she'd search everywhere for signs.
Social media, every search engine you can think of, court records, ancestry websites.
Every lead turned out to be a dead end.
I couldn't find anything. I could see that he was born. That was it.
That is until her mom called and told Tessman that her brother had been found.
My sister had called me and said we found.
I just saw it on the news. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Saturday, our mom texted me, get a hold of me ASAP. Okay, what's up? That was your brother. No, it wasn't.
The family is still in shock at how something like this could have gone on for so long.
I just think he slipped through the cracks, really.
I'm sure he was terrified. I would like to believe that if a child needed help, they would say something.
His mom and sister haven't spoken with him yet, but they hope to soon.
Yeah. I love him, and we all love him. He has never been forgotten about.
I'm going to tell him that I love him, and I've always looked for him. Forever.
Now, meanwhile, Kimberly Sullivan, the man's stepmother, and her attorney deny any claims that the man actually was held captive in this house behind me for over 20 years. We also reached out to members of the Sullivan family, uncles, aunts, sisters, and brothers to see if anyone will be available for an interview, but all of them declined. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Well, Fox 61 has obtained the 911 recording from the night that man got out of his Waterbury home after police say he was held there for decades. That call to 911 was made after police say the man intentionally set a fire inside his room in hopes of being rescued.
It's 2 Blake Street. What's the address? Please hurry. It's 2 Blake Street. There's a fire. Yes, we need an ambulance, please. Okay. Please, we need an ambulance.
Ma'am, all right, you said something is on fire and now you need an ambulance. What's going on there?
Yes, his room.
Yeah, the woman's voice on that tape is 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan, the woman accused of holding the man captive. She told the dispatcher her 32-year-old stepson was hurt and that their house was on fire. The fire was still spreading while she was on the phone. Sullivan eventually made her way outside of the house, and through this police officer's body cam, you can see and hear Sullivan yelling at someone who was still in the house.
Come on, come down, come down.
Come on, down.
Who else is in the house? Who else is in here?
My stepson is in here.
Now, the officer directed her to move away from the house. You can see firefighters carrying her stepson in their arms. The officer told her to stay behind while he goes to the ambulance. Sullivan's stepson told firefighters he intentionally started that fire to gain his freedom. Police arrested Sullivan on March 12th. She is charged with assault, kidnapping, and other crimes and set to return to court next week.
Well, communities across Connecticut and the country really are rallying around that man. A fundraiser to support him has raised more than $100,000, and the money is still pouring in. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro spoke with the people behind this effort.
Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury is the organization behind this fundraiser. That group, which is headquartered right here on Central Avenue and provides services to victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse, immediately rallied behind this man police say was held captive after being contacted by the mayor. The scars from a fire at the House of Horrors on Blake Street are boarded up as the investigation continues.
We are receiving a lot of information and obviously working closely with the state's attorney's office to help in the adjudication of the case.
My stepson is in here.
But the damage to the 32-year-old man police say intentionally set the fire after being held captive inside by his stepmom for 20 years is impossible to bandage.
From what we know, the education stopped at age 11, so it's going to need educational resources. He doesn't even probably know about technology these days. Anything that he's dealing with medically, from the weight loss or rebuilding his muscles to being able to walk properly, physical therapy, emotional therapy.
Amanda Nardozzi is offering a second chance. Her organization, Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury, set up this GoFundMe to support the man.
So we initially started it with the hopes to raise $10,000 that could go to help support some of his medical care, dental treatment, long-term rehab.
Nardozzi says support is critical in this case, delivered in a trauma-informed manner.
Dealing with the client on a much more empathetic level than you would with a person in society, understanding what they've gone through.
And to make sure more kids do not endure the same trauma, Nardozzi wants to see better communication between agencies.
Part of the issue and my career going back dealing with DCF, it's that we're siloed. All these agencies are standalone agencies, state agencies, law enforcement is their own agency. There's no collaboration and follow through when this happens. So, if one person goes out and does a welfare check, everything's okay, and DCF, nobody's communicating. And I think that needs to change. We need to have a better checks and balance system.
Every dollar that's raised through the Safe Haven fundraiser will go to the victim. Nardozzi says all that money will be put into a trust. Reporting in Waterbury, I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.
Now, if you would like to donate to that GoFundMe page, we have a link on our website, fox61.com, or the free Fox 61 News app. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen to get a link to download the app to your device.
Now, Fox 61 Weather Impact with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank.
Mild out there today with plenty of sunshine. More cloud cover in eastern Connecticut. We had highs in the 50s to near 60, but tomorrow will be even warmer inland. We're looking at highs well into the 60s, and this is the final day of winter. Definitely feeling way more like the middle of spring. Here's a look at temperatures right now, close to the 40-degree mark across the state. And here's a look at some of those clouds that have been in and out of the eastern half of the state today. Those will be exiting stage right, paving the way for clear skies as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. We'll look at overnight lows in the 30s, so it's a chilly start. It's one of those situations where you're like, what do I give the kids for the bus stop in the morning? Because it is going to be cold to start, but then temperatures take off like a rocket. By noon, we're in the mid-50s, and high temperatures could climb into the mid and even upper 60s as we head through the afternoon. Now, that is inland. The wind will be out of the south as we head through the afternoon, and that means there will be a bit of a sea breeze. So the Connecticut shoreline won't be as warm as inland areas. We're looking at highs in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees, but still a beautiful day. Flood warnings are up for the Connecticut River. We're going to talk about what that means, plus the chance for rain later this week coming up.
Federal cuts to food share programs are expected to have major impacts on local community resources, according to Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal. They join advocates and local farmers this week to talk about these cuts. Senator Murphy called the DOGE cuts cruel. The cuts will affect the local food purchase assistance program and the local food for schools program.
This program that just got this recent shutoff notice, the LFPA program, so it supports 516 distribution facilities all across the state. These are shelters, these are food pantries, these are the places that families come to get that little extra bit of food that they need to make sure that they've got 3 meals on the table for their kids.
And local food pantries are speaking out about the drastic cuts of federal funds and how it will impact families here in Connecticut.
Fox 61's Valerie Moravi has more on the challenges these pantries are facing and how you can help in the time of need.
The five-cornered cardboard food pantry here in East Windsor has been serving the community for 5 decades. Now, the coordinator tells me their mission is to continue to rise against hunger.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture recently announced it will end 2 pandemic-era programs that provided more than $1 billion for schools and food banks to purchase food from local farmers and producers.
So I don't know. We always have to make some kind of an adjustment. We have to figure it out somehow how we're going to handle that. We certainly can't have kids going hungry.
Mary Groves is the coordinator of the five-cornered cupboard food pantry in East Windsor. She says hundreds of Connecticut families could be impacted by these cuts and might have to make some adjustments in their lives.
Some items we've alternated. 1 month you can get it, next month you can't. Sometimes we've cut back on the amounts of the item, and we're continuing to do that, to watch that as our numbers change. And I anticipate they're going to go up more once people really feel the pinch.
The pantry has welcomed the community for nearly 50 years. Families can come in, grab a shopping cart, and choose what they need, but items are running out. Grove says the pantry will be accepting donations, everything from perishable foods to feminine care products.
Basics, potatoes, rice, cereal, all that stuff. Paper goods and cleaning products and personal care products are very, very menstrual supplies.
Now, Grove says these federal cuts will not stop the pantry's goal of helping people in need. For details on how to donate, you can visit our website at fox61.com. In East Windsor, I'm Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Valerie, thank you. We have